Well, it's rich coming from the freedom package that's supposed to be fiscal conservatives and end up with not that conservative a bill, isn't it? To lecture us. What we're going to do is we're going to pass a bill that can get 50 votes.
Joining us now is Republican Representative Mike Flood of Nebraska. First of all, Congressman, have you gotten any sleep? How long were you up last night?
We were up all night, literally up all night. I finally got back to Nebraska and I got some sleep and literally just got up. But it was a long, long night. And if the Senate thinks that they're going to make big changes and expect that to pass in the House, they're not paying attention.
Yeah, because folks need to understand if anything changes to the bill, then there has to be a reconciliation of the two bills, whether through committee or whatever, before it goes to the president, just to do a little I'm just a bill Schoolhouse Rock moment there. You voted yes on the bill. Tell us why you voted yes.
Well, it's a huge tax increase at the end of the year if we don't deal with it, 23%. Farmers and ranchers in my home state would see the federal estate tax exemption cut in half. So many good things in this bill, things that I don't even think Americans are even aware of how many good things are in this bill. One of them being an increase in the low-income affordable housing tax credit, something that every blue and red city mayor across America has been begging for and asking for. All of that's in this bill.
If the Senate makes major changes, and you just heard the Senator Mike Rounds of North Dakota, I believe, suggesting that the bill was not as conservative as it should have been, what happens?
Well, honestly, if the Senate wants to send us something that's even more conservative, I don't think there'd be any problem passing it. That's not our worry. Our worry is that we sent something over that cuts taxes, something that saves money, cuts mandatory spending, addresses waste, fraud, and abuse. I'm actually, until you said that, until I heard what Senator said there from South Dakota, I'd never thought for once that they were going to send us something back that was more conservative. I was expecting to see something that was far less conservative. That would be a gift if the Senate could even produce it. But I'm hopeful that they'll see what we sent over there and they'll say this is the right thing for America. They'll adopt it. We'll get it done and move on.
Just for the record, it was Senator Kevin Cramer that said that. I apologize.
Okay.
This is a huge bill. It deals with more than tax cuts. Let me play for you an exchange from the committee debate regarding a provision of the bill that eliminates the requirement to register gun silencers, which has been the law for decades, but that's going to be gone. You're no longer going to have to register a gun silencer with the ATF when you buy one. Take a listen.
This provision very clearly states that you no longer have to register silencers with the ATF. Is that wrong? Is that incorrect?
That does not mean that you will not go through a background check. It will be sold the same way a rifle is.
That's not the question I asked, Mr. Scott. I asked
don't
whether
yell
this
at me. I gave you an answer. You don't like it. It's over with.
Are you aware of that change or any other parts of the bill that might emerge that will come as a surprise to even folks who voted for it?
Listen, that's not a surprise to me. We have a Second Amendment right to bear arms in this country. And I have a lot of friends who are always calling me being like, oh, the ATF's not approved my silencer request. And it's like, what the heck? I mean, for God's sake, people own guns in America. We need to get over it. People own guns. They have guns. We'll always have guns. That's how America works. That's the way it's been since we were founded. And yes, some have silencers. It helps when you're hunting to not spook all the other wildlife. At the end of the day, this is the small stuff that we get drawn into as Americans. The big stuff is, how are we going to deal with our debt? How are we going to make good on our promises? How are we going to tax our people? That's what we did overnight last night. As silencers, might have been in the bill, but it's not going to be anything that changes the course of our country.
Well, you talk about the debt. I mean, several independent analysts, not just the Congressional Budget Office, which I know a lot of folks like to beat up on, but there are a lot of analyses that suggest that this will add somewhere between $3 and $4 trillion to the debt over the next 10 years.
Well, there's some short-term issues, but there's long-term savings. When was the last time in this country we saw mandatory spending ever get cut anything anywhere near what we did here? I will sleep just fine at the end of the day, knowing that we got 217 votes to be able to land this plane the way we did last night, to cut $880 billion out of the committee jurisdiction of Energy and Commerce, and what we did with Ways and Means. Like, America's poised for even more growth with what we did with taxes. America's spending is getting cut. In the short term, you won't see it, but in the long term, this is going to be a gift to the citizens of America.
Well, of course you're going to sleep just fine. You didn't get any sleep last night. Congressman Mike Flood of Nebraska, thanks so much. Good to see you, sir. Appreciate your being with us. In our politics